Bolton Inc Effect. Hello peeps! A short while ago, Louis and I sent an invitation out to our community to ask if anybody had anything that they wanted to share. So we got quite curious about the people who were living around us, and we've had an amazing response. We've heard from somebody who wants to get into politics, we've spoken to people who are healers, and the next guest is somebody who combines healing and running a product-based business, and it's become her life's passion. Her name is Kate Sturmey. She lives in our community. So please enjoy this wide-ranging conversation with Kate Sturmey.
Can I ask you a question?
The Bolton Inc Effect. Kate, nice to have you in the studio with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, thank you for giving us your time. So this is part of the community podcast that we were doing, where we thought it would be fun to engage our community, see who's around us, see who does what.
Yes.
And you were one of the people who put their hand up, so I thank you for that.
And thank you for having me here. I'm very excited.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about who you are.
Who I am? I am a mother of two boys, 9 and 11 years old. I have a lovely husband, and we have, I'm a sister, I'm a friend, I'm a daughter. My background's natural therapies. I've been in that industry for since I was 17 years old, so 20-something years. And so, yeah, I'm holistic, and, I'm a person that loves being busy. I love doing sports with the children, camping. We go out on the boat a lot, biscuiting, hiking, a lot of things, yeah. So that's Kate in an overall nutshell.
Thank you. And so let's dive a little bit deeper into what you do, because as I mentioned earlier, you were part of one of the people in the community who said, yes, I'm happy to come on the podcast and talk a little bit about what I do. So tell me about what you do, because this is so intriguing.
Okay. Well, as I said, I've been in the natural therapies industry since I was 17 years old. I trained in Reiki when I was 17, and then I went on to go to Polytech and train in natural therapies, where I trained in like anatomy and physiology and herbal medicine and nutrition and neuromuscular and massage. And then I went on, as I worked more and more in the field, worked under amazing practitioners and mentors, and then went on to study further and do further papers, which is one beauty of being in this industry, in the health and wellness industry. You can just add to your toolbox continuously. So I went on to do my diploma in pregnancy massage, and then organically I ended up with Second Nature Botanicals.
So when you say organically, you ended up with it, but it's something that you started, you created
No,
it.
I didn't.
Okay, so tell me a bit more about that.
Okay, so my very good friend, she created it in Australia. And when she, we didn't know each other at the time, she was a client, and we became really good friends, and the kids, her daughter would come over and play with the children. And one day after one of her treatments, she said, I'm selling Second Nature Botanicals. It's been on the market and I have so many offers, I'm shutting the books. And I said, oh, wow, are you? I said, oh, wow. And she's like, yeah, the deadline's in a few days. And we're walking up towards the school after her massage, just chatting away. And I just said, send me the books, hon. I'll get my accountant to have a look at it. That organically. And my husband said to me, between a busy clinic, running women's circles, you're doing retreats, how are you going to fit this in? And I said, I like to be busy. So I said, just be a great little side hustle. And that's what I thought. I put an offer in, it got accepted, and the last 3 years it has gone.
So what have you done to drive the business? Businesses don't naturally go up.
Yeah, no, I've worked hard. I've literally, I have gone to shops. I have door knocked. I have really pushed hard with Second Nature Botanicals. I've formulated some more, expanded the range as well. And when things were really tough for the retail shops, I started doing a smaller range as well. Instead of a 200ml bottle, I went down to a 50ml bottle. But I worked really hard, literally hopping in the car, driving around the North Island, sitting down with small business owners. And it's hard for them at the moment as well. So sitting down with them and showing them my range, and they really liked the whole ethos of our business, you know, simple, safe, sustainable products that obviously, you know, we've got the home side of it. So we've got the beautiful perfume oils, and then we've got the cleaning side of it as well. So it's an all-rounder. You've got from your kitchen bench, your foaming soap, from, you know, to cleaning your shower, your organic cleaning sprays, from mopping your floors, we've got the organic floor cleaners. So it's an all-rounder. Room linen sprays, bath salts. So I just kept adding to the range, and we've got some beautiful candles that we added in as well. And I think that there's been a big push with people really wanting, New Zealand-based, really wanting natural ingredients, not fake fragrance oils, 100% essential oils, and seeing they can look on our reels and see everything is handmade. It's not a machine. Everything's handmade. Everything we source is, you know, like we look at everything, like down to our packaging, down to the shredded paper we use. So we have a big collection bin. The community around here is amazing. We have a big collection bin that people can put bubble wrap in, used clean bubble wrap for us to reuse, boxes for us to reuse. So the whole community around here has got on board with the whole recycle. So we've been
So how did you get the community on board with the recycling? I mean, is that just something that spread through Instagram?
Yep, Instagram, Facebook, word of mouth. You know, like if I'm chatting to you right now, I'd be like, if you have any bubble wrap, that's, you know, clean bubble wrap. I've got a big bin, big collection bin that you put all that in, and I will reuse it.
And so where are the collection bins?
Just there, halfway down my driveway, where all the courier boxes are. Okay.
So we can add some of that detail in to the show notes. Just talk about your collection bins. There's so much to dive into. Number one, the knowledge and know-how to run a business. Number two, coming from a perspective of your stance on being natural. And so let me just dive into something there. What are we doing to the environment when we run dish liquid, the chemicals we use on our floors, when we're running that down our zincs?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
What are we doing to our environment? Where does that go? So for somebody out there who doesn't really know and who just buys it off the shelf because it's $6 or whatever, what are we ultimately doing? We live by the sea. This is our...
Absolutely.
This is our environment.
We're thinking about everything. Like if we look at everything, the whole planet as a whole, not just us.
Absolutely.
You know, like we think it's a shared planet. It's a shared planet with our pets, with everything that we have, down to the bugs, everything that we have in nature. You know, everything is shared, and what we're doing, not just to us, our waterways, everything that affects everything like that. If you're thinking, okay, right now I'm gonna use some toxic floor cleaner and I'm going to tip it down now, and then it's going into the waterways. The knockoff effect of, you know, like what we're doing to the ocean and what we're doing to all the, like, you look at the fish, the things that, and we eat that, you know, that fish. And it's just a knockoff effect all around, I think. It's everything that we stick on our skin, like everything. Our skin's our biggest organ of the body. And if you're spraying it and using, you know, like, chemicals and you know, covering up all your beautiful dolphins and things like that with,
I think that
it's so unnatural.
100%. But I think that sometimes there's a chase to look beautiful and to have your skin glowing. And I see some of the products that my daughter, who's 14, looks at on TikTok. And I want to die at the thought of her putting that on her skin.
I know.
Like the stuff with the glimmer and the shimmer and the shine.
I know.
And you think, but that has to go into the pores.
Yep.
And that then has to be cleared through the lymph system and through the... But as you say, so that's just a small microcosm of everything that goes.
Yeah.
So the planet as a whole absorbs all of the stuff that we're putting in her waterways and on her skin.
Yeah.
And...
I think it's education. It's huge education. We've got... like, as I said, I've been in the natural therapies industry for such a long time. When I used to manage health shops, goodness, this is the only place that we could get our natural soap. This is the only place that you could get your organic tampons. It's the only place that you could get your chickpeas, your lentils. The supermarkets didn't stock this when I first started in the industry.
But even now, there's a tiny little section that you unless you know it's there.
So much better now. It is so much better, and it's education. Like my children, I talk to them all the time about. So I'll be like, oh, let's not use that. That's not going to be good for the environment. That won't be good for. I always example our pets. That won't be good to spray around the pets. They don't want to absorb that, so especially like the floor cleaners, that's why, the cats don't want to be, walking on the floor. So this is why we're using this. So I educate them. On homeopathic remedies, things that they put into their mouth. If they've slammed their finger in a door, I'll say, okay, which remedy and why are we taking it? Because it's for these nerve endings. And let's talk about... So even things like if it's they're taking bark flowers for an emotional aspect, I discuss that with them and I talk about what we put in our bodies. And they are so good at the schools these days, educating them about recycling but it is still a very throwaway community instead of reusing everything, So, going back to basics, and I know that people... or younger generations may say, this is me sounding really old saying that, but, saying that money's tight and everything, but do look at putting a garden and do look at picking up some pots and growing lettuces, growing, all these things that do save you money.
100%,
Go back to basics. And it's not, honestly, you can use the orange peels from an orange, put that in a jar and just put some water over it and then tip that out after a few weeks and you've got this beautiful orange oil straight from the orange peels, and you can just use that as a room spray.
Oh, lovely.
Use that as in the cleaning.
Because we're in Matua, because Matua was an orange orchard. Mm-hmm. So most of us still have one of the old orange trees.
Yes.
And so you see the oranges and lemons everywhere.
Yes.
So the trick there is you peel your oranges.
Yep, don't throw the peel away.
Don't throw them away. Keep them in a little bucket.
Just put them in a jar.
Yep.
Put them in a jar, fill it up with some water.
Hot water.
Yep. So, just normal water, and it will sit there and leave it for about 3 weeks. You'll see it start changing colour, and then you just pour it out. And
perfect. Lovely. Thanks for that tip.
Got some.
That's amazing.
It's a lot with herbs as well. When you pick your herbs, you just steep them in vodka and leave them.
So do we drink the vodka afterwards, or?
Yes. Because the herbs have all them. You strain it all
and rosemary vodka.
Yeah,
it's a really good. That's a very good idea to take up drinking again. Actually,
nice. That may be why you might be able to do that with them.
Okay,
but rosemary is a fantastic one as well. That you do steep it in the vodka and then you use it as a tincture.
Nice.
Yeah, so that is you take it medicinally.
Nice. Yeah. Of course, you take vodka with the medicinal tincture. I just wanted to take you back a step. You said that you went into Reiki when you were 17. Mm-hmm. So that's not a normal thing for a 17-year-old to feel. So what drew you? What led you there?
Oh, goodness.
Were you pushed into it, or was it something that pulled you?
Yep, the universe definitely pushed me into it. So I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate. My parents are very alternative, and my father is an instructor of karate. So he actually still trains twice a week. He's only in his 60s, so he still trains twice a week children. So I grew up learning pressure points, meridian lines, and things like that. So, that was just, so
keys and natural.
It was so kinesiology. If there was any muscle testing, back in the day, none of their friends had like massage tables. It wasn't a job. They all just did muscle testing and things were. So you just jump on their dining table, do some muscle testing, and So I actually got quite sick and
what, in your teens?
No, I was around the 17, and I started having a lot of anxiety, and just debilitating anxiety. And I had just gone over to Hamilton to go flatting, and no, I was flatting. I was, God, it was so long ago now. I was 6 months into, when I first left school, I didn't know what I wanted to do. And so I wanted to get out of the small town I grew up in, and great upbringing, but I did want to get out of it. So I didn't do 7th form, so I managed to get into a hairdressing course. In hindsight now, when I look back, coming from an environment that was,
So protective and small.
Yeah.
And so caring.
Yes. And then, so about 4 months into the course, obviously my head would blister up, the chemicals, I got sicker and sicker, and I one day couldn't get into my car to go to the course. And I phoned up Mum and I said, I don't know what this is, but I actually can't, I can't breathe, I don't know what's going on in my body. And I look back, she would have probably been in her 40s because they had us younger. And she realised, what's going on, this is anxiety, anxiety wasn't really spoken about that long ago, it's a very...
Was it identified as something that...
No, so it took a long time to, so this went on, so she took me home, and she was, my goodness, what's going on? And I couldn't actually even, I was so exhausted, I couldn't even walk to the letterbox. My whole body had gone into complete and utter...
So that's adrenals and
everything. But at this time, it was just, as a mother, now that I'm a mother, I look back and think of my child phoning like that in that state and not knowing what was going on. And it took a long time. Thank goodness most parents were so beautifully open-minded people, because the doctor probably would have just stuck me on Prozac and thought I was depressed. It was back then. It was kind of like I felt like I was rocking in the corner. I didn't know what was going on. She didn't know what was going on. So we started this whole journey, seeing different naturopaths, seeing different homeopaths, seeing so many different practitioners. She'd drive me everywhere. But it took me a long time to. So the better I got. It took me a long time to even, I'd say to myself, I can walk to the next power pole, I can walk to the next. It took me a long, long time, but through different practitioners, we found out that I'd actually had overload of chemical poisoning. And back then, it wasn't really talked about.
So you'd gone from being a very natural environment, 4 months in the city, you'd saturated your entire system.
It wasn't just that. When they did the hair analysing and going through, it was a lot of chemical roundups and things like that as well came up. So I over the years, this took years. This was a long time. I took, got all my fillings removed. I did everything I could to think what else is poisoning my body here. So it took me a long, long time to get my adrenals sorted, to get the toxins out of my body, and so that was my stepping stone to start in this industry. And believe me, at 17 years old, I wasn't happy about it all. I did feel like, I felt very, I was very upset at the universe for the whole journey, because it was a very hard journey. I was like, why am I not just being a 17, I just, 17-year-old. I was, and then that's why I got into the industry so young. Okay. The raw truth of it, that is, so at 19, before I went off to Polytech, it's the second time around now, I did a night course to know that this is the industry I want to be in. Does Kate want to be in the natural therapies industry? And it was.
Okay, so it's always felt Kate got incredibly sick, needed to go on a journey of your own healing
at a young age.
At a young age, and so instead of being out drinking, smoking, partying, and driving fast cars, you were on a therapy table trying to extract all the...
Don't worry, that happened somewhere in the younger bit.
Okay, well, at least you had a childhood. I'm happy
That
to hear
happened, but don't get me wrong, that did happen. You know, like, I did grow up in a small town here, you know.
Okay, yeah, because you don't want to be going through that when you're in your 30s and your 40s and you're a mum, you know.
No.
So it's always wonderful the way life works through you if you just allow it to. If you're in the flow and you go sometimes where the direction pulls you.
Yeah. Sometimes you just, and I think when I suppose as I've got older, I just trust so much now in the process and where life takes you. I'm just like, okay, yep, I'm open to everything and the process.
So when we were talking earlier, I definitely get that you're really busy. You're off on all sorts of things. You've got a 9-year-old, you've got an 11-year-old, you play netball yourself, and I'm sorry to hear that you were injured. You coach in Kiwi Tag, you and your husband run multiple businesses. So, but where is the quiet time? When is it that you feel the flow? When is it that you know? How do you hear yourself?
Okay, so I usually do reformers a couple of times a week as well, reformers Pilates. And so it's only...
Does that stop you enough to...
No, it doesn't stop me enough. It's only because of my broken foot. At the moment, I've got a broken foot. So usually that is that nice breathing time, you know, clearing your head. But also I have some beautiful trees that I sit under and meditate.
I was going to say, are you part of the meditation?
Yep. So I host meditations and I obviously meditate myself. So I've got my singing bowls, and I sit there and sometimes I just take myself on my own journey. So I will literally do my own meditation, sit under the trees. My children they're really used to coming out to my clinic and me sitting out there with my crystal bowls with, oh goodness, I could be chatting away to my angels. Goodness, who knows what I'm doing out there half the time. Jeez.
I love that.
But they're very, you know, like one of my little ones one day after a woman's circle came out and he, you know, he's like, oh, yep, these are the cards you use, the angel cards, and they get all amongst it. And
That's how humankind used to be.
Yeah.
We
just women sitting around.
100%.
Honestly, just sitting around. It is such a beautiful thing just to put a blanket down, sit around and just chat. And just
see where it goes.
Yeah.
See where the flow takes you.
No, I know. Just this beautiful, well, obviously I couldn't hike, but some girls, some beautiful friends were on a hike the other day, which I was staying at the accommodation, not hiking, but they came back and we just sat around. I took them through a meditation and we just... You know, that connection. And so hiking is definitely, I love going out into the bush. That's my grounding medicine. For me, some people it's a water element. For me, it's very much, I'm very earth. So we love going for hikes. And my girlfriends, we meet up and go for a walk along the beach. We, go for walks together. The family, we mountain bike a lot together. So I find that so much fun. The boys are so much fun. They can go for like 20 Ks.
So are you off to Rotorua? And you?
Yeah.
Nice,
so husband, he likes to get the shuttle up, and the boys just, I think last time they did 22 Ks, but because of my foot, I didn't go. So, the boys, all that stuff, like when we go out on the boat quite a bit, and I take them biscuiting, and my husband, I just drive and he's just, they're biscuiting and having fun. And
that's nice. Yeah. I love that. So just a little bit about the product. So everything is handmade here?
Everything's handmade, yeah.
So when you took over the business, were you given recipes or were you given product? Or
yes,
were you given
Kirsty,
product knowledge?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, since my background was natural therapies, this is why I brought it, because it was organic. Like for me, it was, this is going to, with my background in herbal medicine, I knew that I was going to be able to formulate things, and I knew that, I'm using essential oils, not obviously, but I knew my background, I was going to be able to formulate things, and I was going to be able to add to the collection. And I knew that it was a great concept, and Kirsty had done so well. My friend had done like this amazing job, and it was time for her to step into her new light and her new era. So when I sat down and, we obviously, she taught me how to make, we have the recipes and everything like that. Then I was like, yeah.
So there are two very different sides to it. There's this beautiful natural side, but then there's also the side that says, I need to know how to run this as a business.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
I was lucky because I've run my own practice for so long that I've had a home-based clinic. I did the hard yards I've contracted to people. I've worked at different clinics. I had, sports events, helping out sports teams. So I did the hard yards, and I've had a home-based clinic and run that very successfully for 15 plus years. And I did have another clinic room for a while that I overflowed into, but it's sometimes the bigger you get, that line of field's not always the best. They're there to see you. So for me, I'd already done the hard yards,
Understanding how to run a business.
Understanding how to run a business and understanding that, leaving work at the door, compartmentalising your whole day, being every bit of your day is you utilise every bit of it, with your scheduling, everything. So I was already used to being very scheduled in my day.
So if you take yourself back a step, and if there's somebody in the community who is really inspired to start their own thing, doesn't matter what that is. It could be a therapy, it could be a sports thing, could be a product thing, service, whatever the case is. What are some of the fundamentals that somebody, in your experience?
For me, my heart rules like a lot of what I do. So if it's something you're passionate about, if it's, I don't know, you're somebody and your background is sports and you're really wanting to do, sports nutrition, if that's what you love, I would literally, this is for me, I'm a big believer in writing everything down, your pros and your cons. Okay, so it'd be this here, why do I think this is going to be successful? Does somebody want what I'm offering here?
How do they find out whether somebody wants what they're offering?
Well, think, okay.
Going for research?
Yep, thinking to yourself, okay, does this person here, say the offering might be a new supplement. I want to start a new sports supplement, a new sports drink. Yeah, let's research and think, okay, what's already on the market? What's my point of difference? What's my background to be, selling it? What do I know?
So you've got your pros and cons. You've got your product or your service or whatever it is.
What's your service or your products? Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You do a bit of research.
Oh, 100%. You need to know if you're going to start something, a brand new supplement or, a brand new shampoo.
Yeah.
What's going to be a point of difference? What's your story behind it? What are your consumers wanting from you? What story are you telling them?
So how did you grow your followers on Instagram? Did you do something on purpose to grow them, or has it just been organic?
To be honest, I couldn't stand being posting anything about myself. So for the first probably 6 months, I fumbled my way through it completely and utterly, and I just couldn't show up. I just really was like, I can't show up. I'll just show the products. And then as things started happening in the business, and the business grew bigger and bigger, and with businesses, you would know this, once you grow bigger, more problems come up. So you're ordering, instead of ordering hundreds of bottles, you're ordering thousands of bottles. Things started, so things might turn up broken and and I thought, I'm actually gonna start showing some of my followers kind of a bit of the background scenes.
Story behind
this is it,
yes.
So this is what it's like when things turn up broken.
Because life is not always glamorous. Running a business
and
is
I
not
thought,
glamorous.
I'm just going to be a bit more raw and organic here and let them see that, God, sometimes shit, it's hard. Like packages will go missing and couriers, you can lose a whole... You can lose stockists because your orders keep going missing. And no, the courier company does not. You are the one that comes out of your pocket. There's no, if your packages go missing, you're the one that sends it, and they will say under Act 24, under Act this. You're fighting against the big corporates here. You're not gonna. You won't get $10 back.
That's such a pity, but that's
the reality of it.
that's
And
a
I
business,
started,
indeed.
yeah, and I started saying, I'm sorry if packages, I just started doing really real stories, and I take people to my workshop, I show them on the video the workshop of things being made right there, every single drop of essential oils. The essential oils, here they are, so they know they're not fragrance oils. Take them for little tours around the workshop. Some people in Tauranga, which I love, have asked to pop into the workshop. So they come on down and they will have a chat to me, and they see exactly how everything's run, so they can see me making everything. They like to sometimes come in and smell them, meet the person behind it. So they literally come down to the workshop, and this is what I love about this community. I love Tauranga for this, that there's so much support here for me. We've got a big bin that people put their empties in. They just put their name on it, and if they've got an empty container for the organic cleaning spray, they just reuse the bottle. Their natural disinfectant spray, floor cleaners, uplifting sprays, there's a box there. They just put their name in a bag, and it'll say Sally to Kate. Sally will pick it up later, and the kids just go down in the morning, Mum, this one here, there's this one here, and I take them all to the workshop, and all the locals get 5% off because I haven't had to reuse a bottle.
I love that. So there's a recycling bin where people can put in their paper and their bubble wrap boxes
and bubble wrap and boxes, because we use boxes to be sending the big orders, like if they're going to the South Island and things like that.
And so they can come and drop it off, and then people can also come and drop off their empty bottles.
Yep. They just literally put their name on up
in a packet. So I could bring you my 3, and they're my empty glass bottles.
There's the PET bottles, the 1 litre ones, and so they drop them off. Or there's the 4 litre ones. A lot of people just drop the 4 litre ones off,
and then you just fill it up.
I just fill it up.
And then how do I know when it's done?
I just text.
You just send me a text.
Send you a text,
and I come and pick my product up at 5% discount, because you didn't have to give me the.
I didn't have to buy the bottle again.
Lovely.
So happy days, and then you get to reuse. So it's a great concept, and so all these
kind
things.
Of circular economy as well, which is something that we're trying to work towards. And the boys are involved in your business, which is great.
Yep. Tyler does. He gets 10 cents every box that he puts together for the gift boxes. So we got all the gift boxes, and he puts them all together.
And he gets 10 cents a box.
10 cents a box.
Love that.
He can do them fast, way faster than me.
Yes, of course he can.
Because he's a kid that loves arts and crafts.
Oh, fantastic.
So
oh, how lovely.
So it is really great with that the whole concept of it. Like the concentrate 1 litre, if you only use 100 mils of that, and that saves you buying 20 250 mil plastic bottles that you would have thrown away.
So
thousands of dollars on.
One last question.
Yes.
Where can people buy your amazing products?
We are online, and we are in 35 shops around New Zealand.
So what is the website?
www.secondnaturebotanicals.co.nz. Goodness, I had to think about that, didn't I?
I'll put that in the show notes as well.
And if you go to our website, you'll see we're in 35 stores around New Zealand.
North and South Island?
North and South Island. And you can jump on there, have a look, and you can go and pick up from one of your local shops there, or
order online.
Online, yeah.
Okay. Kate, if there was a final message that you were to say to people in our community and a little bit further afield, what would you say?
Well, for me, I always say this to the children. This is a shared planet. It's not just the humans here. We share this planet with animals, with everything, like the bugs, the trees, everything's here. And everything on this planet wants to survive. There isn't one thing on this planet. Everything wants to live. Everything wants to thrive.
And what's one of the smallest changes we can make in our household? The easiest, smallest change? I
think making small choices of what we consume and things like that as well, and literally what we use. As you said with your teenage daughter, just really educating them of what they're putting on their body. Like I'll say to my children, this one here, this is this moisturiser, this is just an oil, this is just almond oil. We don't need anything. Like we don't need these perfumes that just smell so toxic and, oh goodness. And so, just I don't know, small things at home are, just small changes. Could be changing one cleaning product.
Because whatever you're spraying, you're breathing in.
But, it doesn't, you could
washing it down,
use your
spraying.
baking soda, use your
100%.
use your oranges from your trees.
And is now a good time to start a business, given that 2025 has been a bit of a wobbly year financially, economically, I mean?
My analytics aren't even really that down. I changed my thought pattern. So what I did for all my retail stores that stock my products is I made a smaller line. They don't have the shelf space, and they could not afford, a lot of them could not afford to stock bigger stock because things weren't moving. So I had to think outside the box. It was quiet, it was really quiet, and I thought to myself, what can I do here for my retail stores? I need to do something for them, and they were struggling. So I approached them all and I said, I'm going to start a 50 mil range, and it doesn't take up much space, and this is the wholesale price, and you'll be able to sell it for this. Because I said, nobody's spending more than $20 for a little present, and that's just the way it is. And so many of them got on board when I said, this is the range I'm looking at. And that range has taken off like no tomorrow.
That's fantastic.
That has been my step in the door, because my heart was looking after them, and it's ended up being, obviously looking after me. The whole thing has been a great cycle. With the Peaceful Sleep Pillow Mist, the one that I've given you there, that one there has been our number one seller, and it's been like this year we've got into a big hotel chain. The yoga mat has just gone from strength to strength, and wellness studios all around New Zealand. I just keep getting people asking me. A psychologist has just started using all our Peaceful Sleep and all her calming kits for neurodivergent families. And when I told her the story about why I designed the Peaceful Sleep Pillow Mist, because my son is neurodivergent, and I know that sleep time is a whole ritual for them, and I wanted him to have some control over his sleep time when he wasn't having control over his mind. So I formulated that one, with all carminative essential oils to calm the central nervous system on. Trial, error. And now he's able to have control, and he can spritz his teddy bears, spritz the room, and it's beautiful, 100% essential oil, so calming on his central nervous system, but it's given him some control when his brain can't always be in control for him.
Well, Kate, thank you so much for taking the time this morning. It's really, really been lovely to talk to you. I feel a lot of the heart and the soul in your business, and I'm really very glad that we were able to connect.
Can I ask you a question?
The Bolton Inc Effect. Thanks for joining us today on the Bolton Inc Effect podcast. The conversation I had with Kate has been illuminating in a lot of ways. I have discovered a kindred spirit, really, in terms of her spirituality and how she feels about protecting the planet. And I hope that some of the message today reaches down deep enough for each one of us to make a small difference in the way we run our lives, in the products we use, and in the choices that we make. If you would like to join us on the Bolton Inc Effect podcast, please get in touch. It's literally just a cup of coffee, a chat, and a genuine interest in what makes us human.